AR-15, that assault weapon right next to him, just holding it down. Detective, what are things now that the NYPD is doing to figure out a motive?
Sure. Well,
so what's up, guys? Welcome back. They're saying now, reports are saying 6 dead, including 1 police officer. We're back to do some updates on this crazy story out of Manhattan, where this guy just walked in and starts blasting the place. Now, there's a picture that was posted by Crime with Bobby. Thank you, Gypsy, for tagging me in this. This is supposedly one of the offices inside of the Manhattan building. Look at the chaos right here inside of this building. I guess, you know, to barricade themselves, to shield themselves, they grabbed all the furniture, all the couches, chairs, anything they could to maybe block the doorway or the hallway so this guy wouldn't come in there, the guy with the gun. Crazy. You know, imagine just one of this huge office building, you hear shots going off, security is shot, you know what I'm saying? This guy probably just walked up on him. Security was a cop, I believe. He didn't have any time to react. Shot him. Crazy. I don't think they've had a press conference yet. At least 6 dead, including police officer and suspect in mass shooting at office building in Manhattan. Wow.
reports is that the shooter is from Las Vegas, Nevada. So they will immediately, if that is the case, immediately engage with the law enforcement authorities in Las Vegas and try to track down this person, where they lived and so forth, and try to determine any motivation, and obviously the final step on that.
And so he has been ID'd, the shooter, New York City gunman ID'd as Shane Tamura. CNN, for some reason, said this guy is a white man. You can clearly see he's not a white man, though. They say it was a white man. Picture right here. Let me get rid of all this junk. Sorry. Happens. New York gunman ID Shane Tamura, 27 years old, out of Las Vegas. Okay, here's another picture of him. CNN says he's white. There with his assault rifle. Here it says killed at least 5 people. Smears of blood were seen on the wall of the assault rifle Tamura used during the deadly rampage. Wow. Blackstone headquarters. 5 killed, 6 seriously injured. A police officer and at least 4 other people were shot and killed. This guy went on a deadly rampage. Chaos. Several people injured by a crazed gunman who stormed a swanky Midtown skyscraper early Monday evening before turning the gun on himself. The 27-year-old maniac, identified by sources as Shane Tamura, barged into the 44-story building, which houses Blackstone and NFL headquarters. Armed with a rifle, opened fire at around 6:30 p.m. during the evening rush. Whew. Crazy. I don't know what I did with that news channel I just had open. Here.
Is on the scene. Kendall, any more information you can share with us?
Hey, good evening, Natasha. I'm just telling you a lot about the witnesses who were working here in this building on 399 Park Avenue. They were alerted about the shooting, but within about 2 to 3 minutes of it happening, and the police presence went from a few officers to the droves that you see right here, right now. You still see still an active scene, still a bunch of folks, law enforcement here in the area. But we spoke with several folks who work in the finance industry who were telling us
NFL's
that
in the
they
building
got the
too.
alert, and they were on the 30th floor where they could see a lot of the action taking place, and they were told to shelter in place. Now, from that corner building, from that corner office, they saw that black BMW believed to be connected with that perpetrator, and they saw all the connections going on. They saw what was going on there, but they told me that they were told to stay in place, and many of them, they told us they didn't think that something like this would happen so close to where they work.
Okay, and there's a new picture because there's still new information coming out. That's why I jumped on again. Blurred photos. This is supposedly the body of the gunman in the Manhattan office building. Okay. New photos coming out. Wow. Wow.
Calming down from when you first got to the scene to now. How have you seen the mood shift?
And if you guys could hit the like button again, please, I'd appreciate that. Hit the like button.
There was
I have to redo it again.
3-4 dozen people, 50, 60 lining the streets. Now it's maybe, looks like between 20, 30 still with their phones out, just recording what's going on, standing by, trying to get more information of it. But earlier, this place was packed and police officers were moving folks out the way, telling us to get back. At first, we were really close to the building right here at 399 Park. They moved us across the street. We were here for a while, and since then, this, as you said, has died down quite a bit. But still, a lot of folks out here.
Yeah, and still heavy police presence there. How far are you from where that BMW is located? Just trying to get an idea of, how maybe they've been, detectives have been investigating this, or where exactly the scene is centering.
Well, I'm here at 54th Street. This took place about a block away from where I'm standing. If you see a bunch of the officers. If you were to cut past one of the NYPD officers, that vehicle there, you can see that's where everything is located. So Park Avenue is right here to my left, and then further down is where that scene is. That center of the scene is.
Yeah. Quite a massive scene out there, because we know Linda is down near the 51st area too, and has been moved a few times as they look to kind of have this perimeter filled with police. All right, Kendall Green, thank you very much. If you are joining us right now, we do want to let you know that there was a shooting in Midtown Manhattan in a very busy office building there. At least 2 people have been shot. One person was the officer. Are we going to Arthur Chian now? Okay, and this is all happening at 51st between Park and Lexington Avenue, but truly that entire area has been affected with heavy police activity. There is a black BMW that is being searched right now just to figure out, what's going on and where the scene, what had happened with the shooter. We want to go to Arthur Chian right now. He is live from NYU Presbyterian on the Upper East Side. This is where that officer who was shot has been taken to. Arthur, what can you tell us?
We can tell you that police brass continue to arrive right now. I'm looking at a car with lights and sirens, and we've seen members of the police department that we recognize arriving here. Let's see if this pulls in behind us here. This vehicle here might be Mayor Adams, who we are told is on his way down here. This is New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell Medical Center here on York Avenue between 68th Street and 70th Street. Another convoy is coming. And I'm going to ask, our photojournalist Pete Sanate is already focused on the vehicle, but 2 are coming right behind him. And splintering off. All right, so there are multiple entrances into this building, and they look to be going in different ways. But the latest word that we had from Mayor Adams himself is that he was on his way to the hospital. We're told that some of those shot were brought to Bellevue Hospital, which is a couple miles south of here, and then that the officer.
Yo, so there's some new crazy stuff coming out. Okay, some new. Sorry, I'm like juggling right now, but okay, check this out, bro. Check this out. I hope this is not over some football shit. Check this out. Check it. I was just tagged in this. Katarina, thank you. A newly released photo. Let's look at this together. A newly released photo shows the body of 27-year-old, which we saw that already, the censored, blurred version. They're saying that he was a former high school football star.
Come together as a team. Hey, we're here with standout running back Shane Tamura from the Granada Hills football team. Big 35-31 victory against Kennedy tonight. The battle for Granada Hills. Shane, just talk about you guys getting that win tonight. How'd you guys come through?
We definitely had to stay disciplined. We were down 10-0. We definitely had to stay disciplined. Our coach kept saying, don't hold your heads down, don't hold your heads down. We just had to stay disciplined and come together as a team.
Shane, a couple of touchdowns for you, including a huge one late in the game there in the fourth quarter with under 4 minutes.
I hope, because NFL was in that building that was shot up too. I hope this is not over some football shit. He didn't get accepted or something.
Being a black BMW, our sources tell us there might have been prescription medication in that vehicle.
What? Prescription medication?
Also tells us that there were bags of additional ammunition, additional rounds in a box, in Ziploc bags, and then contained in a box that was also found in that vehicle. Of course, they are looking to confirm that that was the vehicle that belonged to the gunman, and that's all part of that investigation right now. Natasha?
That's really important information that you're sharing. Also, the fact that this weapon, AR-15, and perhaps this officer, we don't know if they were wearing a vest. And like you said earlier when we talked to you, just really an unfair advantage. Talk to us a little bit about the AR-15 and what we're hearing about the weapon that was used.
Right. By all assumptions right now is that the officer was wearing a bulletproof vest.
He was.
Information that we're getting is that the bulletproof vest that NYPD officers wear is very effective, but mainly effective in urban environments where weapons like 9mm are used. As I say this, there's yet another official New York City law enforcement vehicle going by us here. And those rounds tend to be smaller, than tend to be rounded. They're very deadly, but we're told that when it comes to AR-15s, the exit velocity of that weapon is much higher, and the bullets are longer and come to a sharp end in the front, and they tend to penetrate things like vests far more effectively. The talk amongst law enforcement officials that we're sources that we're talking to is that a bulletproof vest might stop as many as 2 or 3 9mm bullets, but when up against an assault weapon, it's just not meant to. It's not meant to do that. There's no.
Speaking to one man who was here trying to listen to the police radio for updates as that manhunt was underway. He wanted news of his wife. He knew his wife worked on the 23rd floor of 3045 Park Avenue. And he wanted to know if she was okay. And it was a very, very tense hour-long wait for that news. Finally, she was able to text him that she was fine. He could breathe a sigh of relief. They have now gone home. But it just gives you a sense of this disruption, of the terror that people felt here.
Thank you. So Brittany says the NFL floor is the 6th and 7th floor. Okay. I mean, know he was on the 30-something.
What did people do in that building?
Well, we have obtained a still footage from inside one of the offices. This was a very large building, 44 stories, a place of work for hundreds potentially, and it showed very clearly the chaos and the panic inside. In one still image, you can see chairs, tables, office furniture stacked up against the door, people grabbing anything they could in the event that the shooter entered, as I said, their place of work. Unclear if the shooter made it to that particular office, and we're waiting for more of those really chilling and harrowing details from authorities tonight. But it was very clear from that still image just the sense of chaos and the sense of panic that people were feeling, not only inside the building, but also outside of that high rise.
And Aaron, we're hearing conflicting reports of how many people were injured. Again, the preliminary numbers that we heard was 1 police officer, 1 civilian.
That was a cop?
We just heard from
really?
a witness that said that they saw 3 people that were being brought out by bystanders and those that were rushing in to help. Have you heard?
You sure Green Eye Pete?
Any additional information when it comes to how many victims may have been shot here?
Yeah, well, what NBC has been able to confirm from law enforcement officials so far is at least 1 civilian and at least 1 police officer were shot as a result of this incident. That officer is believed to be in grave condition. The New York Mayor, Eric Adams, in his update tonight saying that multiple people had been shot, which would leave the possibility that more than 2 had been shot. But again, we're waiting for final confirmation from authorities on those details. Scotty.
And I mean, there is so much commotion that's happening. They are the streets of New York, but what is going on? People can hear, all the honking and it sounds like yelling. Is that related to the scene, or is that just normal New York?
there, people have come out here to this area to see this area that's been cordoned off. They want to know what's going
picture of
on.
the
It is a
gun.
point now of curiosity.
Wow.
Now that the situation has calmed somewhat, there are also some protesters who've gathered as well. They're protesting something completely different than what unfolded here in the early hours of this evening. But I would say it's still a very tense situation here in Midtown Manhattan. You can see just over this way that the people that have gathered to see what's going on. And,
I'll show you guys right now.
Is again, Gotti, it's a pretty tense situation. But at the moment, authorities are not letting anyone anywhere near that area over there, which is 345 Park Avenue.
Yeah, it looks like people are coming out of that scene. I mean, that is some very good news. Unfortunately, we have some bad news. I believe we just got confirmation that there are 5 victims, 5 dead, including the shooter, though. So again, we're awaiting word from some possible press conference from NYPD. But at this point, all we know is 5 dead. That shooter has died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We're going to continue to monitor all of this, and you can find the latest on NBCnews.com.
Crazy, man. So new information. We see the office picture. They even put a picture of the guy. When you go, let's see what else they got. No word of a press conference yet, I guess. A lot of information coming out about the shooter. Former high school football star, I guess. His concealed permit came out too. Concealed permit. That's concealed permit there. Pictures of the office, pictures of his gun. Three sides, what's up? That was a crazy night on the stream. Gunman Shane Tamura used Palmetto State Armory AR-15 in massacre. That's what the gun is. They're saying it's an AR-15 Palmetto State Armory. The gun retails for about $420.
Hello, I'm Natalie Pasquarello. We have an update for you right now on that breaking news in the deadly shooting in Midtown Manhattan. Want to get right on over to Jonathan Dienst, our chief investigative reporter. John.
10 p.m. presser? Okay,
Hi,
thank you.
The
Maine, thank you for the
suspect,
update.
we are told from multiple law enforcement sources, has now been identified. He is the suspect that we've shown you walking into the building carrying that assault rifle. We're told he's identified as Shane Devon Tamura. He was born in 1998. We're told he's a former football player, and investigators are looking into whether he intended to target the NFL offices, and that are located inside that building. The investigation is still early on. And again, he apparently played high school football and some other sports. But this one-time football player apparently from Las Vegas, Nevada area, is identified by multiple law enforcement sources as Shane Devon Tamura, going into the building, opening fire, and later killing himself on the 33rd floor of that building along Park Avenue. We have an update on the casualty count, but again, we're going to be very cautious with these numbers since they've been changing moment by moment. And what we have is that from multiple law enforcement officials, the police officer who was working in that lobby, he is now shot and killed and pronounced dead at an area hospital. We are told there are at least 4 others who were hit by gunfire, and several are in critical condition. We are awaiting official word from the mayor and the city police, as well as the FBI, on additional conditions. But there's been differing accounts as to their conditions. So we're going to stick with one police officer dead and several others wounded in this shooting along Park Avenue. And again, the suspect, apparently Shane Devon Tamura, that according to multiple law enforcement sources, seen carrying an assault rifle, walking into the building, opening fire in the lobby, making his way to the 33rd floor, and then apparently taking his own life on the 33rd floor. Again, question as to whether they are looking into whether he was targeting the NFL offices located in that building. That is the very latest that we have at this hour, and we will continue to update as more comes in.
Jonathan, we know you are continuing to work your sources. We appreciate the up-to-the-minute details. We're going to have you covered here on air on NBC4 New York and online at NBCNewYork.com for any new updates. Make sure you have our app. Thank you so much for joining us. American Ninja Warrior continues right now.
Okay, so they're saying there's going to be a 10 p.m. press conference. It's been confirmed. So a little bit less than an hour. Okay, 10 p.m. press conference. We took a little break. We covered some other stories, and we came back because there was a lot of updates, a lot of information coming out. I think more is going to continue to come out because now we have the gun, the concealed permit, some more pictures of the suspect and his name, Shane D. Tamura. No word on his motive yet. I'm still very curious what's going to be this guy's motive. Will we even know? Here's another picture, I guess. Here's another picture of him. I'm going to keep checking for updates while we're streaming. I'll never give up on Terry, Tamura, and Shane. If anyone knows anything or Lee, please bang my line. I miss my dog. Been searching for years. What? This is from 2018. Wow. Been searching for years and still no word. I'm going to tweet every day till someone leads me. I don't give a F. Is this the same dude? Wow. What the? Whoa. Wow. Okay. Mystery thickens a little bit, maybe.
So they really had to determine, in fact, if it was one shooter, and then again, that he neutralized him with the self-inflicted gunshot wound. I'm hearing on the 33rd floor. And now you're starting to see a very slow, organized, I think, de-escalation where they're starting to bring people out that were locked down. But they have to do it very orderly, probably floor by floor. Each floor has a different plan if they're going to use the elevator, if they're going to use a stairwell, depending on what floor. They don't want to disturb crime scenes. So if the shooter did anything on any other floor,
Google says the floor he was on says it was a pharmaceutical floor, along with investment banking. 33rd floor.
Interesting. And they did say, I don't know if this has to do. Oh, look, there's somebody. Oh man.
Is down and neutralized, and now to start.
They said they found prescription medication in his car too. I wonder what kind of meds. That's another question. What kind of medication was found in the car?
Have someone in the hallways, down the hall, what elevator to go on. So every time that someone has to make a decision, someone's there to reinforce. Go down to the next hallway, make a right. You'll see someone there, and they'll tell you. So, and they're probably going to be coming out single file. Again, that's everyone. Every time you do this, you don't want to see like people running out and panicking. So you tell them just walk calm, walk in single file, and it produces calm across the board.
And Rob, right now that we know that the threat has been neutralized, the big question, especially for people that are watching that have loved ones in that area or possibly in that building, is how many people may have been victims here, right? We understand that one officer, possibly an NYPD officer who was working a detail at the time, was hurt, and then also a civilian outside. But those were the initial reports. When you see he's made it to the 32nd, 33rd floor, how long is it going to be before we have an update on potential victims here?
I think shortly. NYPD is very good at taking situations like this, and they know one of the big ones is to get initial communications out. In fact, what they had, what's going on, because they don't want rumors to fly. They really want to end that social media, fire of.
Okay, look, there's some more pictures of the guy, the perp, the shooter. More pictures. NYC shooter suspect Shane Tamura, Instagram. Caesars Entertainment. There's some pictures right there. Hanging out with the crew. I guess this is him right here. What happened? What made him snap?
Medical kits, then there may be something more inside the building besides the ones just outside.
And I mean, hearing that he made it as high as the 33rd floor or 32nd floor, like, what does that tell you about what happened in those final moments? Rob, do we still have you? Hey, Rob, I'm not sure if you lost us there.
Do you have me?
Rob, I'm not sure if you can hear us. It looks like we might be having some technical difficulties, but if you can hear me, the fact that he made it so high up that skyscraper, what does that tell you about that?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. Can you hear me okay? Rob, do you hear me? It looks like we have lost Rob D'Amico momentarily. We're going to try to get him back on the phone here as we watch the developments on your screen. We know at least one officer, one civilian have been shot on the streets of New York. This is happening in Midtown Manhattan. We understand this building, the building where an active shooter went inside and possibly made it as high as the 32nd or 33rd floor, was a building that housed the NFL, KPMG, Blackstone, Deutsche Bank was also a tenant of that building. At this point, we still don't know exactly what that active shooter was doing in that building, if they were targeting any of those businesses or.
Okay, let me see what's.
I'm not trying to expose where I live in New York City, but there is an active shooter outside of my apartment, right outside my apartment right now. He is an AR-15. The FBI is here. The police are here. There have already been police officers shot. I'm looking up at the police helicopter right there. Guys, this is actually outside of my apartment. An AR-15. I think already 5 police officers have been shot. Holy shit, I'm not leaving. I could see it from my apartment.
Crazy times, man. Crazy times. Crazy times. Let me see what else we got. Okay, this guy's live right now. We're waiting for the press conference, everybody. Waiting for the press conference. I'm wondering what kind of medication was in the car. What was he taking? Shane. What was Shane taking? Yeah, I covered that. The Vegas shooting, I covered that earlier. And a press conference. What was interesting, I guess it's just coincidence, this New York shooter had Nevada plates. Nevada. What the? It's all a sign. It's all something. It all means something. There is no coincidences. Does he have a twin? Somebody said, because there's somebody. Oh, you got Terry Tamura and Shane Tamura. Well, in that picture where we're looking at it, that guy looked very similar to the guy he was standing next to. I thought it was his brother or something. Okay, I'm seeing the same pictures here. Let's see what else we got. What a mess, the whole situation, man. NYC shooting suspect identified by CNN as possibly white. For those that missed it in the beginning of the stream, this is the chaotic office scene that I guess people just barricaded themselves inside, you know? Barricading the entrance, the door, the hallway, seats, cushions, couches, anything, whatever you could get to stop this maniac from coming inside. See what else they dig up. I wonder what this guy's parents, are they still around? What do they think about all this? Why? And then took himself out. Mic check.
Mic check. What? Mic check. Mic check. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, definitely the world has gone freaking nuts. Yeah, I saw this earlier. There's 2 people that were arrested.
Got it. Got it.
Can that can reduce the noise, and it looks like a strap. So again, he's kind of in the suit, and then he's got this assault rifle, and how does he walk through the streets without people noticing? But it's New York. People just walk. People may have blown it off. He may have been so cavalier about it. He may have just got out of an Uber where he had it in a bag and jumped out and started walking, and they took this picture. People may have been clearing when they saw him. Again, that one still photo just shows he is going in with some purpose.
So she believes that the father's a cop. What? I have to look into that. Imagine.
There was a shooting that happened in front of the building, and then he went inside, or there were shootings inside of the building. But how fast is the response time in Midtown Manhattan for some sort of active shooting like this?
5 people killed, including an NYPD officer working security, a female officer in that office building where Blackstone and the NFL have offices. 4 people inside that building who were not part of the NYPD.
27 years old.
Unfortunately, we're also learning were killed, and 3 of them died on the way to the hospital. We're learning 1 was already dead when police and first responders got to the scene of the shooting. So right now, Sean, what's happening, you can see that it's a very active scene behind me. Right to my left here, we have some stretchers. This has been a staging area since we got here, and several city blocks, as you've seen, are blocked off right now. It's just to the right of where you're looking, where this shooting occurred at 6:30, which brings some questions, because you've been talking with Paul Murrow and others about the possibility of a motive, and we're expecting to learn at least what the NYPD is willing to share with us coming up at the top of the hour in a news conference at the Presbyterian Hospital. But the fact that this shooting happened at 6:30 which is after the peak hours of the workday, but still with a lot of people inside the building. In fact, Sean, one of my friend's sisters was inside the building when the shooting happened, and I'm told that she ran to the subway. So there was obviously a lot of chaos when this happened because the police officer who was killed was running security in the lobby. So everyone in the building should have been aware that this was happening pretty immediately. And we've seen pictures on social media, and we're working to get some pictures to show on air of barricades that people put up, I believe on the 33rd floor, where you can see just couches and office chairs stacked up against doors as people heard the gunshots likely and then acted to save their lives. And New York City Mayor Eric Adams said that people have been shot again. We just told you the tragic numbers, and that they're being taken to the hospital. And right now, the priority is getting the medical attention that anybody needs as quickly as possible, while simultaneously, this is an active crime scene, and preserving all evidence, as Paul had mentioned, looking into who they believe this shooter to be's background and what could have possibly motivated this shooting. But everybody here on the streets very concerned about the people, of course, whose lives were taken, and we pray for their families, and we hope that the number doesn't increase, because unfortunately, as you know, Sean, very often that is what happens in situations.
I sent my email. Look at it. It's verified.
And we're going to
I looked at it. Thank you. Thank you, Greta.
And try to get you that newest information. And you can expect at the top of the hour that we'll get a lot more from the NYPD, with the commissioner being there along with the mayor. And hopefully we get an update.
Yeah, saying that Shane's father's a cop.
Hopefully are recovering. We'll send it back to you.
Terrence. The rents. That'd be crazy too, but it probably is.
I believe so.
Waiting for the press conference, waiting for the new information. Let me check here. What are these people saying?
Security is there to challenge persons, to aid those who are either employees or visiting the building, and to guard against fire and other types of hazards. Security is not there to protect against some type of assault by an active shooter. They're there to discourage that, hopefully, but it's virtually impossible. You know, there's an old adage: the most difficult thing about setting off a bomb is not being there when it goes off. So once someone is unconcerned about their well-being and they're unconcerned about whether they survive, they have a very high likelihood of causing damage, either by any form of weapon.
You said something that is just, it echoes in my mind right now. Security is not there to protect from an active shooter. They're there to deter one. In a situation like this, can we go through what might have happened inside in a situation like this? They're not there to prevent an active shooter, but what happens? You've had a lot of experience, many years in law enforcement. What happens in a situation like this inside?
Well, security should be the eyes and ears of law enforcement. Hopefully, they had time to notify the authorities, call 911, and then to authorities when they are there, and to help with the evacuation of civilians. It's very difficult to keep eyes on this person when they enter the building and where they travel, which direction they travel to. It sounds like the off-duty police officer was somewhere in the lobby on the first floor and was one of the first persons that the shooter shot. So here you have one of the most trained individuals in that building with regards to law enforcement and protecting others, and he succumbed to his wounds right away. So right away things went askew. And, you know, who's to say that security is on each and every floor and how robust that security is? There's just not enough people in the world that have that level of training to be perform these types of security duties in every single office building.
Well, I think that guy. I think Shane just walked up on him, not unexpectedly, straight out started shooting. Maybe he even knew where to go. Maybe he scouted out this building before. And Katerina was saying that most officers wear soft armor that do not protect from AR-15 bullets. So that vest protection wasn't going to help out. It says the gunman was armed with a rifle and first opened fire in the lobby of the building on 52nd Street and Park Avenue. He went to another floor and shot people there, sources from Fox are saying, before going to the 33rd floor. Oh, so he stopped at 2 floors. The gunman was armed with a rifle when he first opened fire in the lobby. Then he went to another floor and shot people there before going up to the 33rd floor.
Where he came from and if he had any associates or accomplices or anyone with him. Did someone drive him to the scene or did he arrive there on his own? The weapon in and of itself, where did it come from? Was it purchased legally? Was it purchased illegally? Was it modified to operate in fully automatic mode, or was it a semi-automatic weapon? Did he purchase it? If it was purchased legally, did he purchase it or did someone else? And then finally, the information we have now is that the shooter is from Las Vegas. So I'm fairly certain that the authorities in Las Vegas are already at his residence of record, determining if anyone lives there. And they're going to have to work and get some type of search warrants and do this properly, because there may still be others who are alive that might incur some type of criminal liability. So the police just can't go willy-nilly and kick down doors and do those types of things. So they're going to have to involve prosecutors.
So Raw Alerts just posted that investigators are examining whether the 27-year-old Shane, the Midtown shooter, may have specifically targeted the NFL offices located within the building. Oh, man. Come on. Jeez.
Is. So people can do these types of things. They can operate alone. As a matter of fact, if they don't operate alone, it's probably a greater possibility of preventing some type of action like this, because someone is likely to notify the authorities or some mental health official or someone. So more likely than not, someone gets away with this, so to speak, because they were acting alone.
Because they were acting alone. How important are going to be these internet searches? Are they going to be looking at his search history?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's in this day and age, it's almost impossible to do something like this without having some type of internet footprint. Now, it could be anywhere from Googling how to assault a building with a rifle to simply doing research on purchasing that rifle, doing research on traveling from Las Vegas to New York, whether he drove or took a plane or some other form of transportation. There will be something in his internet postings, communications with each other, posting with other folks, posting some media that express some type of grievance, perhaps, at one of the business entities that were in the building. So certainly, in this day and age, I think his social media will be extremely telling as to motive and methodology.
The facts that you have highlighted. This man is from Las Vegas, or at least lives in Las Vegas, somehow pops up in New York City, takes this rifle, walks into a building. These are very specific things. He might have traveled thousands of miles. At this point, investigators are going to be wondering why and for who. Thank you so much, Kurt, for your insight
Thousands of miles.
in this investigation. We look forward to hearing from you a little bit later on. Thank you. I want to bring
You're quite welcome.
Thank you. I want to bring in Linda Schmidt, who has been on the scene for many, many hours covering this case. Linda, are you with us now?
Yes, yeah, I'm here. You got me. I've been here on the scene. Gus, what time did we get here? About 6:20?
Yeah.
I'm talking to my cameraman. Yeah, we got here about 6:20. Now, we are in Midtown. We're on 50th Street. Right behind me here, this is Lexington. And Gus, just go ahead and push in, because the scene here is dramatically different from what it was earlier. You can see there are still dozens and dozens of police officers on the scene. But since the shooter has been neutralized, the tone of everything here has dropped significantly. It is not the chaos that we were dealing with earlier, and the extreme sense of danger. People are much more calm right now. In fact, Gus, let's go ahead and show them over here. This area over here had been closed off to not just also the general public, because the NYPD, state police, had cordoned off several blocks here, so people were not allowed to walk along Lexington Avenue, starting here at 50th Street and stretching for 2 blocks, maybe even 3. They just opened up this street right here for anybody who lives in these blocks now. You are allowed to have access, again, because the shooter has been neutralized. Again, I'm Linda Schmidt, Fox 5 News. We have been out here since about 6:20. I want to bring in my colleague here, Kendall Green. And Kendall was located about 6 blocks from here. But I want to give you, just so you have the lay of the land, where this all happened was, I'm on 50th and Lex. It's on 51st Street, 1 block from here, and then it's just right around the corner. And it was that entrance right around the corner where that gunman went in with an AR-15 earlier this evening and started to open fire. Now, Kendall, you were located, what, about 5 or 6 blocks from here?
Yeah, we were right along 55th, close to 56 in Park.
Right.
And then we were talking to a bunch of the residents, we were talking to workers there, and they were telling us that they had to put into a shelter in place. Many of them were standing there for about a couple of hours. One gentleman we spoke with earlier, he recalled he was standing on like the 30th floor, looking down at the scene of that BMW with that perpetrator you saw there.
Right.
And he was just talking about what that looked like. And he was saying that the officers were there at first. In a matter of 5 minutes, they got alerted what was going on. And right after that, you just saw drove of police officers, drove of ambulance, EMT. We heard some of them, some of the scanner talks where they were actually directing EMS right there to the location. We're there at 9:43.
So employees in some of the surrounding buildings, because again, on Park Avenue here in Midtown, there are a lot of financial businesses down here. So it's not just down Wall Street where these financial institutions have offices. They have some here as well. And by the way, 2 of the biggest companies that were in the building where this happened, the NFL and Blackstone, which is a financial company. Now, the people that you were talking to, did they work in the buildings adjoining them or a few streets away?
One of them was about a block away, right across from where that building is, the Blackstone building. And he was saying that he saw all the interactions there going on with that shooter. Other people, they were in the building that looked like it was maybe right next door to the building that's right across the street, cat a corner to where that shooting happened. And they were just talking about the scene and how crazy it was there.
But some of those employees were saying that they were alerted. So were they alerted by their own companies? Was it through a text message saying shelter in place, active shooter? What did they tell you?
One person, they told me they were alerted by a woman, just a woman that said that there's a guy with a gun. Everybody needs to be careful, get out the way. And then after that, that's when they started getting alerts from people that they worked with. And then authorities told them to shelter in place from that point. So, of course, they were worried about that. This is something they've never seen. Park Avenue, that strip, so many businesses.
Mamdami wants social workers to handle these incidents. Good luck, NY. This will seem like child's play once he's elected.
Showing them the pictures. They're hearing about it, and then we showed them the pictures of
the gunman, because there were 2 pictures that were released of the gunman.
Yeah, and when they saw that, and you're thinking that's a couple of blocks, not a couple of blocks, a building over or 2 buildings over from where you work, and you see somebody walking in with clean cut, as you mentioned earlier before we got on air, clean sneakers. It seemed like a statement to be made, but they were frantic when they saw that AR was something that was so close to them, and to hear that there were, casualties involved.
Right. You know,
further heightening it.
when you talk about this going on first of all, in the country, it really is heartbreaking that anything like this would happen. But then you're talking about New York City, 6 o'clock at night, so many people, I mean, thousands of people on their way home because it's still the evening commute. And to think that someone is walking along Park Avenue carrying an AR-15. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen the picture, but the picture showed the shooter, and if you want to be kind of wide on me, Gus, here, the shooter carrying the AR-15 like this, right next to him. So it would have gone about from his knee up to about here, and just walking straight and walking with purpose. No look on his face, clean cut, had on dark glasses, had on a dark colored blazer, a collared shirt that was either white or light blue. Kendall, you can come back in here. Light blue, had on black jeans, nice pair of sneakers, but walking with purpose. And obviously walking with purpose. If you have an AR-15, you're intending to do something with it.
Absolutely.
You have some intent. But he was not looking around. He was looking straight. He knew exactly where he was going. So it was not something that was random. So did people talk to you about that picture?
Well, yeah, they were so shook by the picture, and then they were worried about their own loved ones, their family members. There was someone pretty close. There was someone there. We saw families that were sitting there waiting because their building is so close, waiting for individuals who were shelter in place, worried about what was going to come next, if they were going to get bad news. We saw one individual close to the scene where we were burst out into tears with her mom. I mean, with one of her parents, and you don't know whether how connected she is, but where we were, you saw after things calmed down, you start to see just worry. It went from kind of frantic. Are you safe? Do you know? Just having your wherewithal about you, and then it went straight to worry and just hoping for the best for those folks.
Right. Because when you're going through something like this, and being in the news business, we have gone through situations like this before. Immediately, and within like the first hour, again, until the shooter is neutralized, it is it's organized chaos, and it is panic, and your adrenaline is kicking in for everybody, even the general public. And it's after the shooter has been neutralized, he realizes that it is no longer dangerous. That's when this starts to sink in. People start thinking about it, and then you start thinking about your coworkers and your family, and that's when it really starts to hit people, and that's where a lot of people end up breaking down.
Yeah, and then you see the tension between police officers there. At first you're worried, you're seeing how they're being really aggressive with everyone, trying to keep them out the way.
Right.
And then they get things kind of subdued, and you know where things are, where they stand. And then you start to understand, okay, this was something going on very close. Folks were in danger, clear danger, and they seem to get more sympathized with that.
Right. Well, when we first got here, we actually, Gus, my cameraman, and I, we made it up to Park Avenue, which is a block from here. And so now this has all been opened up to the general public, so they're allowed to walk on this. But we initially were allowed up a block from here, which was right around the corner from where the shooting happened. But then quickly, I guess maybe we were there for about 45 minutes, and then police actually started pushing us back for our safety. They wanted to get not just the media, but the general public pushed as far back as possible until they realized that the shooter had been neutralized. Because not only are they trying to deal with what's going on in the building, they have to keep the public safe outside. Because you have a shooter inside a building, they don't know if that person's going to open a window, start firing down at the street. They have no idea what happened, but that is a scenario that they have to prepare for. So they pushed us back to this area right here. And again, where this happened was just a block from here, and then you would make a left and you would go up, I don't know, maybe 20 yards maybe, 20, 30 yards up this block is the entrance to the building where it happened. And I know you were talking too, come back in, Kendall. You were talking about some of those people saying that they had been notified by other people. Yeah. But the NFL actually sent out an alert, and I'm sure other businesses in that building did the same thing, telling their employees not to leave the building, to shelter in place. And this is what these folks, I mean, it's a Monday.
Right.
In the summer, right. 6 o'clock at night, right. People are on their way home from work, and
just getting ready to close out, and then you have to shelter in place for couple of hours, right. And you don't know what's coming next. You don't know if you're going to be there for the rest of the night. You don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, there was plenty of worry, and some of those finance workers, you know, you work in finance, you kind of get comfortable. You're on Park Avenue. You kind of you don't expect anything like that to happen. Yeah, so, I mean, the fact that this happened right there on Park.
I didn't think it would go down these days.
Such a main stretch of Manhattan.
Wow.
In a financial area.
Right, so you have to ask
awesome. He's trying to leave like 3 times.
Motive and the connection
just come back,
to
Lucas.
That financial institution. What's, you know, that, of course, that's going to come out later on in the presser or when to the bottom of that part of it.
Well, right now the mayor is at the hospital, New York Presbyterian, which, by the way, is not too far from here. That's at 68th and First Avenue. So that, again, is on the Upper East Side. We're in Midtown. We're at 50th and Lex. So that's a good, 50 to 68th. It's probably about 20 blocks from here. So the mayor is there. The chief of department is there. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is there as well. And the mayor is going to be having a news conference. Now, he arrived on the scene here shortly after we got here. And there was a block. We were originally up about a block, and they had the police tape up there because the mayor arrived soon after this started happening. And so he was already obviously being briefed, because the moment something like this happens, the mayor knows about it. He is being continually briefed on what.
Okay. Let's see what else we got. 20 minutes left to the press conference. I played this video earlier, but I'll play it again for the people that might have missed it. This is a video that was posted online, a football video of the shooter.
Hey, we're here with standout running back Shane Tamura from the Granada Hills football team. Big 35-31 victory against Kennedy tonight. The battle for Granada Hills. Shane, just talk about you guys getting that win tonight. How'd you guys come through?
We definitely had to stay disciplined. We were down 10-0. We definitely had to stay disciplined. Our coach kept saying, don't hold your heads down, don't hold your heads down. We just had to stay disciplined and come together as a team.
Shane, a couple of touchdowns for you, including a huge one late in the game there in the fourth quarter with under 4 minutes to go. That put you guys up 35-24, sort of sealed the game there for you guys, gave you guys a nice cushion. Take us through that play right there, jailbreak screen right there. Then you broke free about the 50-yard line and then took it to the house.
Well, our coach basically asked me, he was like, Shane, is the T-screen open? Is the T-screen open? I was like, yeah, it's definitely open. So we just threw the pass to me, Ernie threw the pass to me, and one thing led to another, and I scored.
Shane, talk about, you mentioned you guys were down 10-0, early hole. Things could have got out of control possibly. How did you guys pick yourself up off the floor after that early 10-0 deficit?
Definitely had to stay disciplined. Our coaches kept telling us, don't hold your heads down. It's just the first half, or it's actually just the first quarter. We just had to keep playing, keep fighting through it, and just hold our heads up high, and then a good.
Shane. Now, some people have talked about the number 33. 33. After they tagged me, people keep saying maybe there was some significance that he made his way up to the 33rd floor and then ended his life. Some people believe in numerology. 33 is one of the master numbers, along with 11 and 22, suggesting a heightened capacity for spiritual growth and service. 33 is often referred to as the master teacher, indicating a potential for wisdom and guidance. 33, compassion and creativity. 33 is associated with honesty. He's so honest and compassionate. Courage and blessings. He's so courageous, too. 33, divine connection. And so on and so forth. Is that the number with Jim Carrey? Was that movie Door 33 or something? Or Number 33? Oh, number 23. Oh, it's 23. Number 23. Everything is 23. Oh, my gosh.
And the state police and the units with the heavy guns, the ECU, with the NYPD. Seeing the coordination with them.
Imagine if it was 23. Oh, that would have been going crazy.
There were literally hundreds of members of law enforcement here. And when you see them trying to protect not just the media, but the public, and trying to get them out of the way because they don't.
I saw a lot of people mentioning the 33 thing.
Frantically themselves, who are getting worried and wondering what's going to happen next. A lot of tension, a lot of commotion, a whole lot going on.
33 is Freemason.
Right. But as far as the amount of police officers in dealing with what was happening here today,
oh, maybe that's why.
The unknown, the scariness of it, the danger of it, it did remind me a little bit of, that feeling that we all experienced on 9/11. And again, that is something in and of itself. I don't mean to compare it to 9/11 because there really is no comparison. What I'm talking about here is just that feeling when you are a first responder, and members of the media, we are first responders. And when we get out here and we're dealing with the police because they don't know what they're going to be dealing with, and at any moment, someone could lose their life. At any moment, because you have no idea what circumstances really are.
Okay, so they're saying that the shooter, according to CNN, had no significant criminal background, officials told CNN. The suspected gunman was born in Hawaii, but later moved to Las Vegas. He had a concealed permit for a handgun, as well as an expired private investigator license. What? What the? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. What? He was a private investigator? So I wonder if he investigated and looked into this building and beforehand, scouted it out. Maybe he's walked in there before a couple times, or at least outside of the building.
Because of social media, because they see this stuff posted, and instead of staying away, which they are instructed to do, they then they do the opposite, and they gravitate to the area, which makes it more difficult for police. And Gus and I saw a couple of people get arrested, and they appeared to be people that were just here, and they thought this was all some big game, and they wanted to come and they wanted to create problems for the police department. They thought it was funny. Well, it's not funny. People's lives are at stake here. Their life could be in danger. And that's what, police were trying to explain in a very quick way to people today.
You have a matter of 3 seconds to get that point across before you have to either use your words or use, your actions.
You got to move.
Yeah.
You got to move.
Absolutely.
Because they move multiple times.
Yeah.
Linda, you guys are here. You got to move.
Right.
You got to keep moving.
Right.
And we were live and walking and talking while they were moving us, and they were doing it for our safety.
Right, and we were talking to a woman, I think around 6:30, 6:40, and we were trying to talk to her about what happened, and we're moving with police as well.
Yes.
So they're moving us out the way, and we're trying to get her account as a witness. And they're just doing what they have to do.
Yeah, and one of our colleagues, Matt Onimus, now he's not here right now, but he has been going live with us since about 6:30 this evening, and he was on his way home from work, and he had his AirPods in.
Okay, somebody tagged me, Richard. The 33rd floor plays a key role in the original Die Hard movie, 1988. The film is set in the fictional Nakatomi Plaza, and much of the action takes place on the 30th and 33rd floors. Hans also had a blue shirt. Interesting.
You take a beat, and then you realize what's going on. You realize the imminent danger, and then you just go into a mode where, all right, you're watching intently. Your antennas are up. You're paying so much attention to everything going on, and you're worried. We talked to one guy who was calling some of his colleagues up the block. This is a financial district. Bunch of they're close. This is a tight knit community, and so many of them, they were saying they were calling in, checking in on some of their friends. Yeah, and they're like, are you good? Are you good? And they're getting thumbs up on this side, thumbs up on the other side. But there is a worry that somebody with an assault rifle will walk into a financial institution in New York City on Park Avenue, you have to question, what's the message? What's the message behind this? What's the motive behind this? That's not our job. That's what police will tell us. But yeah, it's one of those days folks are never going to forget. I mean, and even if you weren't in the building, even if you weren't in one of those places, a shelter in place, you walk past the scene and you're seeing this is what's going on, and this is the guy, and here's an AR-15. He's all over the news, and you're worried because is he working by himself? Is this a single actor? You know, and then one of the witnesses we talked to, he was on the 30th floor, saw the BMW, that black BMW we've been showing with the skycopter the entire time.
Which appears to be the shooter's car, the black BMW.
He said, he reported to me as a witness, he wasn't sure how they were involved, but the people didn't look alive at that BMW. Police were carrying. They didn't look like they were okay. So in that black BMW, he was from his high, on the 30th floor. He was looking down on it, and he said he was worried about that car particularly. It's connected with it. Whose lives were taken, we're not sure, but those images alone, enough to just...
Yeah, that was with you for the rest of your life, because it's not a normal thing for anybody to have to experience. But again, I want to get back to our colleague Matt Onimus. When he stumbled upon this, then catty-cornered, he took his cell phone out and he started taking some videos, and he could see some of the videos that you folks have been seeing on YouTube and on the air, on commercial television, where there were multiple NYPD officers that were by the entrance, and it looks like something out of a movie, where they're right up, they're plastered right across, right next to the building with the guns drawn. And then other officers, there were 4 or 5, carrying out what appears to have been the New York City police officer who was shot. Now, that has been confirmed that the officer was shot, and they were running him out, carrying him by his arms and legs.
10 minutes.
Getting him to an ambulance. And seeing those types of scenes, I mean, it's hard to believe that it's happening in your city at that time.
And then for Onimus, I mean, you're in there. I overheard him in my IFB. You have your headphones in, and just the visuals alone, before you take the headphones out and see all the commotion, you know that there's something insane going on.
Right.
And the question I would beg to ask is, for people who didn't have that, people who did have their headphones in and were not alert of everything going on, how they could have acted, how if you're getting behind on the updates, how the scene itself just affects your psychology, affects what's going on in your mind.
Oh, absolutely. And then, not like this is something that we're all used to. It takes you time to process what's going on. Can take you a solid 3 to 5 seconds for you to go, wait a minute, I know I'm seeing this, but whoa, this is what's really happening here, before you know.
A lot of people are saying the 33 means stuff. The masonry, numerology. When you hear the shooter shot himself on the 33rd floor. Oh, man. Oh.
Off the beaten path situation. This is somewhere where you don't expect it at all. But go ahead. What were you looking for?
No, that's okay. I'm just getting an alert here that the media was just allowed inside to New York Presbyterian Hospital. So the mayor is going to be having a news conference there. That's going to be starting shortly. But they were just allowed in. So that what they'll be doing is they'll be escorting all of those reporters and the camera crews to a room, and then hopefully it'll be a spacious room, because there are going to be dozens and dozens and dozens of members of the media there, and then they will have that news conference. So I'm guessing right now it's about 8 minutes of 10. It's probably going to take them a solid 15 to 20 minutes to get set up, and then the news conference would begin after that. I'm sorry, I thought somebody was yelling my name. And then it would be about, say, 15 minutes after that before the news conference starts. And again, the mayor is there, the chief of department is there. My assumption is the FBI would be there as well. Attorney General Pam Bondi said the Justice Department is working with the NYPD on this case. So she put that notice out right away. Governor Hochul has been briefed on everything that is going on. The FBI was out here as well earlier today, as well as state police. So I would imagine they will have representatives from all of those law enforcement agencies, and they will all be speaking. And Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is also there, so he may speak as well. But it will be the mayor who updates everyone on the number of people who have been shot and the conditions. Okay, hold on just a second here. We have to, okay, okay, all right. So now at this point, give me one moment here. I mean, this is how the sausage is made, so to speak. This is what we do when we're live out in the field. Sometimes it isn't pretty, but it's just the way that we have to do our jobs here. So I'm just reading through some notifications to see if I can gather any more information that I can actually share with you at this time. But again, just to recap, I'm Linda Schmidt with Fox 5 News. This is my colleague, Kendall Green, here in New York City, where there was a shooting at a Manhattan office building. It was right around the block from here. It happened about 6 o'clock tonight. Literally thousands of people would have been on their way home, leaving those businesses and on their way home for their evening commutes.
How backed up the place was. I mean, for folks just trying to get home who weren't connected to the adjoining buildings, who weren't on the same block. Maybe if it's over, you have folks coming from 3rd, you have folks coming over from 5th, trying to get to where they're going, whether it's the subway, whether it's, you know, whatever their commute, a bus, whatever the case is. Yeah, wherever they're parked. And this is something that kind of locks you in for a while. And it's like, because you're locked in it, you become more aware. And you're a little bit more worried about it. And you're seeing how intense the police officers are, trying to make sure that they keep things calm, cool, and collected. But what another element that sticks out is we saw a father. He appeared to be a father. He just standing outside of the building, and he says he doesn't say it, he's just standing there. And you kind of worry. Basically, someone shared that he was waiting for somebody outside the building, and I asked him about him, and he said he's just waiting for them to come out. We didn't catch back up with that man, but just seeing that sight of worry, seeing that concern, he doesn't say it, he's just standing there, and you kind of worry. Basically, someone shared that he was waiting for somebody outside the building, and I asked him about him, and he said he's just waiting for them to come out. We didn't catch back up with that man, but just...
Where's that coming from? Press coverage?
Last sound check for everybody. Last sound check.
Okay, where are we at?
Everybody good? Sound check good? Sound check good?
There we go.
Yes? 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 Okay.
All right, guys, getting ready for the press conference. New information has come out. Per NBC, AZ Intel, one of the companies inside of the Manhattan building where the shooter opened fire said its thoughts were with the victims and their families. Okay, I thought they were going to mention a connection. They did say they don't believe it's terrorism. That it's not. Was that Trump sitting in the chair? What happened? Okay, well, wait.
As we're talking about that, I believe that video that we're seeing, it does look like there is a contingent of police officers that were rushing in, and they were extracting somebody. They were pulling somebody out and carrying them to safety. What else are you hearing there on the scene? Are there a lot of people there that are trying to get information from from their family that are still in that building?
There were around half an hour ago, but the situation the NYPD is saying is contained. So it seems like now most of the people that are here are spectators, or they saw something and they want to, in that situation, they want to see how this ends up. Other people are, this is their neighborhood. This is where they work. This is the area they walk through every day. So they're curious about what's going on. We did speak to several people who were leaving buildings around, not the building on Park in particular, but other buildings nearby, people who were locked down. One woman was telling me that people in her office were barricading doors with any object that they can find to try to keep a shooter out. Everyone, or most everyone, is familiar now with what to do in an active shooter situation. That was the information that they had at the time, that there was an active shooter, so they thought, I need to barricade to stay safe. Then they started.
Okay. Wow. Okay. The audio gets better. We gotta get some audio. It's better. Is that Trump? Hopefully they give us some information, like interesting stuff, new information. Oh, that's a Rockefeller. Oh, okay. What a day, man. It's been crazy today.
Anyone walked in that and grabbed your name yet? Gotcha.
No, too. They're saying there's no indication that terrorism played a role. Just angry, I guess. Taking out his anger. Payback. Mommy. They're saying some people think it's a conspiracy that they had all these couches ready to go. Somebody said, isn't it wild how Blackstone's 33rd floor just happened to have a fortress of couches ready to go? I don't know. I don't know what their setup's like. Why does a company like Blackstone have so many couches in a small office space? Come on. Keep the camera still. "33 questions. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. Just hanging out, waiting. What a crazy, unexpected day today.
Thanks, Mel, for all you do.
Oh,
Anybody else say thanks?
Thank you for the 20. I appreciate the support and love. Somehow I was able to do a few things today. I didn't expect anything crazy like this today that would be here half of the day, you know? Been crazy today, man. Today's been live.
It's pretty. It's pretty great.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys for coming through. And I bounced you around too to the second channel. Bully Mom, thank you so much for the membership. 8 months.
It is kind of prey. Can you dimmy does a little bit more?
Well, I got the two
That's
phones.
fine.
I got two. I still don't know where my Samsung is. Oh, right here. Two phones, one for the plug. Cat. Somebody did reach out to me via email. I forgot. They told me they were on their way to the shooter's house, but the one, let me see, which shooter? Of the Reno shooter. The Reno shooter. Come on. 2 hours later. Still waiting. Come on. Get done with the press conference. 33 texts. Sure, it was 33 different races. 33% white. You guys can hear the text shit? Maybe it's the live feed. Maybe it's them. That guy, the Secret Service looking dude. Yeah, he was working off-duty security is what they said. 33 minutes late. 33. The number. It's in the numbers. It's all in the numbers. Come on, mate. Oh, you can hear all those notifications. Well, especially with two phones too. Because most of the time it's actually not Instagram. It's most of the time X. And so both phones are on. You're going to hear it even twice. CNN is receiving backlash. CNN is receiving backlash online for reporting that Park Avenue shooter Shane Tamura was possibly white while viewing the initial security footage released immediately after the shooting. CNN anchor Flame saying shooter is possibly white. That was kind of funny when it happened. We saw that. Should have known it's probably going to be another, who knows how long. How about the Epstein file? What about it? Just 3:33 a.m. Come on. Come on. Bro, shit is just...
He's away. He sent me an email.
They look like they're not starting for another hour.
Heads up, guys.
You got them? There we go. Coming out of the hotel. Pulling up in the car. United Healthcare rejects 33% of claims. Ooh, 33. Dun 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 dun. You guys are 33. Damn, this thing is. Might have to get a different one, maybe. Jesus. Yeah, we're gonna get a different one because this shit is acting up. Let's see, maybe this one or just the same one? Yeah. Drop out of this crap. The grandiose entrance has to be magnificent, larger than life. Shine time. They're saying that the shooter, Shane Tamura, worked as a security guard and more recently for a casino in Las Vegas. Whoa, there was a mass shooting at a casino today. A casino in Nevada. What the? And the shooter in New York had a a Nevada plate. Is it all a coincidence? Wow. You ain't gotta start yet. We need you to start. Been waiting a long time. 33. 33.
32 degrees, water is frozen. But at 33, it's liquefied. So that basically means when you reach that 33-degree energy, a lot more possibilities are open to you.
There's 33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus.
33 is the number of influence. That's why Jesus Christ died when he was 33 years old. And they made sure to associate that number within because he's the most influential dead man in the world. Freemason order goes up to 33 degrees too.
How important is the number 33 for the occult? Let's take a look. Jesus performed 33 miracles and many like him at the age of 33. He was crucified, mistreated, and buried at the age of 33. We want to understand how special is the number 33. King David reigned for a total of 40 years, but in Jerusalem it was for 33 years. If you look for the geometry in architecture, 33 ranks, 33 sectors around the entire world. The human spine properly has 33 vertebrae. Our body resonates in 33 octaves, while the earth resonates in 33 harmonics. In the annals of mystical and esoteric traditions, certain numbers possess an allure that transcends mere arithmetic. One such number is 33, a figure imbued with layers of meaning that stretch across religions, philosophies, and the occult.
During the Middle Ages, alchemy was not only a philosophy and a science, but also a religion. Those who rebelled against the religious limitations of their day concealed their philosophic teachings under.
Wow, so 33. Oh, the man of the hour. Oh, that weird lady. Trish, what's her name? Trisha? Here we go.
This never gets easy. I always go back to the beginning of my role as mayor in Harlem Hospital, where Officer Mora and Rivera were assassinated. And I remember watching their family members enter the hospital and a loud yell of, "No, God, please tell me it's not true." And I thought about that today when the notification came over from the police commissioner that we had a number of shots fired and we're still unraveling what took place. And our hearts are heavy. 5 innocent people shot tonight. We lost 4 souls to another senseless act of gun violence, including a member of the New York City Police Department, Officer Islam. He served in the 47th Precinct. He was just 36 years old and a 3.5-year veteran of the department. He was doing what he does best, and all members of the police department carry out. He was saving lives. He was protecting New Yorkers. He's an immigrant from Bangladesh, and he loved this city. And everyone we spoke with stated he was a person of faith and a person that believed in God and believed in living out the life of a godly person. He embodies what this city is all about. He's a true blue New Yorker, not only in a uniform he wore, but in his spirit and energy of loving this city. And early tonight, I met with the officer's family. I told them that he was a hero, and we admire him for putting his life on the line. This was his dad's only son. Now think about Jordan, my child, and it's unimaginable to experience a loss of this magnitude. and 3 of the innocent civilians are also dead. 2 males and 1 female, and another male is seriously injured, fighting for his life in critical condition because of the violent, despicable attack. Additionally, the shooter is dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. To be clear, 6 total tonight died, 1 including the perpetrator. And I'm sorry, 6 total was shot tonight, 1 including the perpetrator. No words can describe this act of evil, a man who takes the life of others who are innocent. And no words can fill the void that has been left by this tragedy. Our hearts break for the families and friends of the victims. We pray for the swift and safe recovery of the injured. The horrific crime reminds us all how easy it is to gain access to a gun. Gun violence has scarred so many neighbors and ripped apart too many families across this entire country. And we will continue the fight to do all we can to protect our city. But tonight we mourn for those who were killed. And we pray for the families as they go through this painful moment. And as I stated, 5 innocent people were shot. And the perpetrator was shot. We will continue to do what we do as a city, and that's fight to protect innocent New Yorkers. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
Thank you, sir. The information that I'm about to provide is preliminary and subject to change. At 6:28 p.m., the 911 call center started receiving multiple 911 calls for an active shooter inside of 345 Park Avenue at 52nd Street in Manhattan. What happened next is under an active investigation, and details are still coming in, but here's what we know so far. Surveillance video shows a male exit a double-parked black BMW on Park Avenue between 51st and 52nd Streets, carrying an M4 rifle in his right hand. He walks towards the building's entrance. That individual was seen exiting the BMW alone. The building's security camera footage shows the shooter enter the lobby, turn right, and immediately open fire on an NYPD officer. He then shoots a woman who took cover behind a pillar and proceeds through the lobby, spraying it with gunfire. He makes his way to the elevator bank, where he shoots a security guard who was taking cover behind the security desk. 1 additional male is shot in the lobby, per his own statement from the hospital. The shooter then calls the elevator, which opens in the lobby. A female exits that elevator, and he allows her to walk past him unharmed.
Really?
He goes up to the 33rd floor, which is route and management, and begins to walk the floor, firing rounds as he traveled. 1 person was struck and killed on that floor. He then proceeds down a hallway and shoots himself in the chest. In total, we have 5 victims shot, our officer and 4 other innocent civilians, plus the shooter. The shooter is believed to be Shane Tamura, a 27-year-old male with a Las Vegas address. The vehicle he exited is registered in Nevada to Mr. Tamura. Inside of that vehicle, officers found a rifle case with rounds, a loaded revolver, ammunition, and magazines, a backpack, and medication prescribed to Mr. Tamura. The vehicle was searched by our bomb squad and found to be clear of any explosives. The initial investigation shows that Mr. Tamura's vehicle traveled cross-country through Colorado on July 26th, then Nebraska and Iowa on July 27th, and then in Columbia, New Jersey, as recently as 4:24 p.m. today. The vehicle entered New York City shortly thereafter. According to our law enforcement partners in Las Vegas, Mr. Tamura has a documented mental health history. His motives are still under investigation, and we are working to understand why he targeted this particular location. 345 Park Avenue is a commercial office building whose tenants include the NFL, Rudin Management, KPMG, and Blackstone. At this time, 4 of the 5 victims are deceased, including our NYPD cop. Our officer was transported here to New York Presbyterian along with 1 male civilian, the lone shooting survivor, who is in critical but stable condition at this time. 2 other civilians, 1 male and 1 female, both deceased, were brought to Bellevue. The 4th civilian is a female who was found dead on the 33rd floor of the location. Additionally, there are 4 other victims being treated for minor injuries sustained in their attempts to flee the scene. Victims' names are being withheld at this time, pending family notification. Officers from our Special Operations Division are currently conducting a secondary sweep of the entire building. I want to be very clear. We believe this to be a lone shooter, and there is no longer an active threat to the public. But today, 4 innocent victims are dead. Among them is NYPD police officer Didarul Islam, 36 years old, 4 years on the job. Officer Islam was married with 2 young boys, and his wife is pregnant with their 3rd child. He's assigned to the 4-7 precinct in the Bronx. He was doing the job that we asked him to do. He put himself in harm's way. He made the ultimate sacrifice, shot in cold blood, wearing a uniform that stood for the promise that he made to this city. He died as he lived, a hero. I want to extend my profound sympathies to all of the victims and their families, and to the brave NYPD cops who today lost a brother. There are still many questions that we have to answer, and we will answer them. But for now, our city is in mourning for the innocent lives lost. May their memories be a blessing. Pat. Sorry. Oops, sorry.
Patrick Hendry, President of the PBA. This is a devastating night for our city, for our police department. Pure evil came to the heart of our city and struck innocent people. And 1 of our police officers who were protecting those people. We lost 4 people tonight in our hero brother who gave his life for this city. He was a hardworking police officer who was proud, we know, from hearing from his family, to put on that uniform and shield of a New York City police officer every day and went out and did his job. And he went out every single day to provide for his family, whether it was overtime or whatever he had to do to provide for this family. That's what he did on a daily basis. And his family is devastated. A wife losing a husband who provided for that family. A father who's not going to see his son again. And our hearts of every New York City police officer right now is hurting. We're hurting for our brother police officer who we lost. We're hurting for that family. We're hurting for all the victims and hurting for all the families of the victims. And we're all asking, why? Why did pure evil come here? And we know our police department and our law enforcement partners will work tirelessly to get those answers. But now our job as police officers is to be there for this family, to support them in any way that we can, to come together as a city, to be there for these families of the victims. And we will continue to do that, because that's what New York City police officers do. And we're going to continue as police officers to go out and protect this city, because we know that evil can strike at any time. But police officers are willing to risk their lives to protect everyone in this room and protect everyone in this city. So we ask all New Yorkers to pray for our police officers' family, to pray for all the victims and their families. And we need to stand united going forward. We thank you for covering this story.
Yeah, we are also joined by our federal partners from the ATF and the FBI. I want to give an opportunity to our partner in the FBI, a special agent in charge of the New York City Field Office, Chris Rea.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, on behalf of all the men and women of the FBI, I'd like to extend my deepest condolences to the victims of this senseless tragedy. And also personally, I want to extend my condolences to the police commissioner. And just please know, ma'am and Mr. Mayor, that you have the full force of FBI New York and the full force of FBI to get to the bottom of the answers. Upon learning of the incident this evening, FBI agents immediately deployed to the scene to assist our NYPD partners. While this remains an NYPD investigation, the FBI's New York office stands ready to provide any and all resources to assist our partners. Initial checks of our internal systems have not revealed any information about the subject. But when and if more information becomes available, we will share what we can, when we can, with the public. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to do some on-topic questions, folks. Can you start with CNN, please?
Just a quick question about the police officer. When he was standing in the lobby, did he have a chance to fire his weapon at the shooter, or was it completely ambushed? And also, when the shooter got to the floor, approximately how many people were on that floor, and what were they doing?
All of this information is under active investigation. Videos are being reviewed. And as this investigation continues to unfold, we'll be able to answer those questions. But right now, it's an active investigation.
Commissioner, if you could just talk about, he was working paid detail there. For people who might not know what that means. And was he the only officer working that paid detail there?
I believe that there were 2 officers in the building working pay detail assignments in different parts of the building.
And what is that? People, may say he's on his day off working in a uniform.
Paid detail is a program that we have set up at the police department that allows companies to hire officers in uniform to provide extra uniform security.
Commissioner, did she, based on interviews with witnesses, did she say anything at all? And secondly, did he leave behind any manifesto, any writings or leaflet?
I already described what we found in the vehicle, and it's too early in the investigation to discuss anything more.
Thank you. Is there any indication that he had a prior connection to New York? What real estate industry?
As I said, too early in this investigation to tell, but nothing that we have seen preliminarily.
Dean?
Commissioner, can you talk about what the medication was that was found in the vehicle?
I cannot.
Can you speak about any prior law enforcement contact you may have had?
I cannot, other than to say that our partners in Las Vegas made us aware of a mental health history.
Yes, Steve? What's your girl?
Can you please share any details you have on what the patient's history was?
I'm not there yet.
Whether or not he had...
Just what I said already. It was an M4 rifle, and we also found a revolver in the vehicle with ammunition and magazines.
Did he have a license?
He did have a license in the state of Nevada.
Your one?
Was there any intelligence indicating that this patient was at risk beforehand? And are you considering this a targeted attack or an active?
At this time, it's too early in the investigation to tell.
Thank you, everyone.
Very weird. So they didn't really. say much besides confirming that, you know, we already heard that earlier. He had the medication. They said M4, which is, I don't think that's what that was that the guy had. I don't see anywhere they said M4. I don't know. We talked about it earlier. They didn't want to say specifically what meds. They didn't want to get into details. They said that's what they heard from their partners in Nevada. That vehicle, too, was it his vehicle or his father's vehicle? I don't know. So he just got out of the vehicle, double parked, and left the car there, walks into the place, starts straight blasting people, shot the cop, uniform cop. I believe it was uniform cop. I think that's what she said. There's a program through the city that they can pay, the companies can pay for cops, uniform cops. I believe that guy was uniform. One was at least uniform, shot, killed him. Don't know if he fired back or not. And then there was a security guy, I think, hiding at the security desk. He got shot too, I believe. For some reason, I wonder why, this guy goes and, you know, calls for the elevator, and a lady comes out and he doesn't do anything to her. He just lets her go. That's got to be crazy as shit. Imagine you're getting off an elevator, there's somebody with an assault rifle, and you're just like freeze, like, oh crap, like you know what I'm saying? And maybe you see the dead people, the blood everywhere, and I don't know, he just lets you go. Dude takes the elevator. Supposedly, to some of the reports, he stopped at a different floor and then went up to the 33rd floor. Weird. Very, very weird situation. And then offs himself. And they're saying he's had mental health problems. What kind of mental health problems does he have? And they already tracked. He stopped in, you know, a couple of states. Obviously, I guess, to travel down or travel to New York. So crazy. I wonder how long. I mean, why this building, and had he scouted the building the day prior? Had he checked it out? Did he know the cop was going to be where he was? The security was going to be where they were? What was the point of all this? 33 states. Well, they were calling it, what were they calling it earlier? AR-15. So there was an article that had the specific gun. What a day. What a crazy, bizarre day, you know? So I guess it's 5 dead. I don't know. I was confused too because he said 6 dead, and she said 5 or 4. A lot of information has come out about this guy pretty quickly, so maybe we'll see over the coming days what else comes out. I wonder if the family will come forward and talk. This guy have any girlfriends or boyfriends or what? Any lovers? Crazy. All right, guys, I'm going to head out for now. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me basically the whole day for the most part. On and off from the majority of almost the whole day. What a crazy day today. 6, including the gunman? Okay, that's okay. What a crazy day. I'm going to go take a shower and kind of refresh, reset. But yeah, thank you so much for coming through. People are crazy. Sneaky, I see you on Twitch. NFL is on 2, 4, 5, and 6. 33rd floor equals building owner. Oh, wait, what? You said I work at 345 Park Avenue, 41st floor. Oh, snap. The guy went to the 33rd floor with the owner, Rudin. I did hear her say Rudin. I was trying to figure out what Rudin was, which is the owner, Rudin. Skipped the first elevator bank and went to the second one. The cops are easy to spot and have their backs to the door all day. 33rd floor equals building owner. That was interesting. All right. And I see a lot of TikTok people. Who's the girl that was arrested? I don't know. I don't know, man. The girl and the guy that were arrested, I have no idea. There was some craziness. I played the videos earlier in the first stream or the second stream. I don't know. I don't even know which stream it was. There's been so many streams today. But there was some lady that she said she saw the guy wearing Free Palestine, and so she thought that this guy had like did the shooting or had a bomb or some shit. And so she screened and pointed out some dude wearing Free Palestine. I don't know. He got arrested. The lady, I don't know what was up with her. She had some bruise on her head. The cops were escorting her. It was such an odd video. They even, at one point, looked like they carried her. She was handcuffed, though, but they carried her. I don't know what was up with that. They haven't released any names yet, no. They said they were wanting to contact all the family, the family victims and stuff. There's some lady, she said, oh, he passed out. He did it. I don't know what happened. Called out some guy. All right, guys. I will catch you later. Thank you so much for today. Be safe. It's a crazy world out there. As somebody has said earlier today, hold on to your loved ones. Be careful. There's all kinds of shootings, too. People go nuts. Yeah, I'm going to go relax now. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you later. Bye. Be safe. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Me see, I haven't checked out anything, man. I've been stuck here all day. I haven't even checked out anything. I don't know how I had time to. We did gymnastics today for my daughter, but besides that, man, I've been just here all day.